call, I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, died a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. Cause I just wanna see the light.
It's Team
Yeah, I just wanna see the
Showtime!
light.
And they're on interstate time, the carpet. But I know which way to go, left or right. It's all eyes on the Ferrari. Stylo has done the impossible. This is the move. This is the moment.
And that puts in Rapture on the podium.
But it's this man who comes home victorious. It's Red Bull. It's who win. Welcome, everybody. We are here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez here in Mexico City for round number 4 of Moose Racing's Tier 1 Championship here in Season 9. My name is Punju, and I'm so excited to be joined by my great, special, wonderful friend, Mr. Rage Quit, for an exceptional night of Tier 1 racing. Rage Quit, how the heck are you doing, my guy?
I'm doing real good, thank you, Punju. I can't wait for this one. It looks like a little bit of a spicy session in qualifying.
That it is.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I love the Tier 1 drivers. They always put on a show.
Yeah, that's the way of putting it.
Looking forward to it. There's been some amazing races so far. We've had some good, clean races. I watched it last week. I have seen the incident report. That was relatively long.
Yeah, nice and spicy. It was one of those where...
Stewart.
Yeah, it was one of those...
Stewart, I was not happy with it.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, it was one of those where there was a lot of incidents, but it ended up not being super fruitful for so many of those that submitted stuff. So many went to the stewards that came back as no further action, and that's all a result of all these drivers trying to find every last inch of advantage, both on track and off track. So I'm not surprised that it went down to the stewards room. Of course, last week we had a brand new winner for the season. Mr. Zylo finally coming back to the top step of the podium. He fought tooth and nail for that win, and he finally pulled it out after really fighting for it for the last few seasons. So that was pretty sweet. But like I mentioned, it did go down tooth and nail. It was really down to the final lap where he really secured it with a bit of a scuffle coming off the back straight. And now we're in to another round where Zylo, I think, looks to be one of the favorites again. With, of course, other championship contenders, Marcus Libs, Double A's, Giants fan, all looking strong. It's going to be nuts. Andy, we're looking at this race. Do you have anybody that you've really got your eyes on, like, ooh, they're probably my favorite?
Do you know, I've been really impressed with Double A's this season so far. I think he's done an outstanding job. He was probably wasn't people's favorite. Obviously, you've got Giants fan and Marcus Libs, who would have been at the top of people's lists coming into the season. But I think Double A's has done a really good job. Commentator curse count 1, hopefully not.
Yep. That's funny.
What about you? Who's your go-to?
I always like to see Marcus do well. Of course, it's my own team bias right there, but this isn't a team bias thing. This is just a genuine, like, you never know. He's a wild card these days. We've got a reserve jumping in for the McLaren garage, and it's Drix. And it's the second most winningest driver of all time in Moose Racing history. I think he's a wild card for today. I think there's a chance that he ends up coming out and showing it. There could be a chance he did absolutely no practice and he's just going to come back and just, get a decent points finish and call it a day. But you never know. This tier is wild.
You never know.
He's
a man with pedigree. He's a man with pedigree.
That he is. And speaking of pedigree, this track also has a lot of pedigree. Let's go ahead and take a look at it as we're going to jump over to this track map right here. We've got 17 corners across 4.3 kilometers. Back to a kilometer measurement as we're out of the States, of course, but it's 2.3 miles. The main passing zone's obviously coming off of turn 1. If you're really egregious, you can make one down into turn 4. And every once in a while, you'll find somebody making a pass into the stadium, which is right around turn 14, if I recall correctly. Maybe it's 13. And so yeah, really 2 to 3 good passing zones. But realistically, just one big one, which is off that main start finish straight. Those that are running those lower downforce setups are really going to have some advantage there. That being said, Andy, do you think we're going to have a lot of variable setups, or are we going to have basically everybody on the same?
I think it's a really tough track to get the balance right on the setup. You know, you've got your high downforce, which works wonderfully in sector 1.
Yep.
But sector 2 demands downforce, so I think we'll see a mix tonight. I ran a 41.35 in the end today, and I think that was after a lot of practice this week. I think that was the best balance that I had found all week. Yeah, I think it's difficult to nail down a proper.
That's a good point. Now, for me, it's funny because I ran like a 34.28 or something like that.
Wow.
So I was way low. And so those straightaways, like, I'd just be gunning it, wouldn't even have to burn the energy, and nobody could catch me even if they had DRS. So you never know. Now, of course, those of you guys that are in the chat right now, you guys don't know this, but we do. We've actually got a wet qualifying session, which means that if the race session's also wet, everyone's going to be on a dang near identical setup. So these setup changes are going to really be null and void. Let's go ahead and take a look at the races. We've got qualifying already running. Let's jump in over there. Right now,
it's tight already.
Yeah, it is, dude. It's crazy. It's a wet qualifying, and yet they still find a way to make it as tight as possible. Bob's still topping the timetables on his first banker lap with Graybush way down off the pace. Yellow Snowman kind of sneaking in right there in 10th. And Giants fan obviously out in a hot lap. Basically, everybody's out there on laps right now, except for Arcadia. Not going to be setting one for at least a little bit longer. Yeah, this is gonna be nuts. Let's since we're obviously kind of in a bit of a lull right here, you can go ahead and take a look at the standings from last week, or after last week. Excuse me. Can you give me that? That's constructor standings combined for all the tiers. Alpine currently actually leading the championship by just a few points, just about 5 points, barely in the head. And we've got Red Bull sitting in second, Williams in third, Mercedes in fourth, Haas in fifth, Ferrari all the way down to sixth. Alfa Romeo making up gains in seventh. Aston Martin sits in eighth. McLaren, unfortunately, we had a bit of a rough one. We're down into ninth, lost 4 team spots last weekend, and then AlphaTauri, both in real life and here, sitting unfortunately at the bottom. However, this tier could be a big shakeup for the McLaren as we've got both Marcus Libs and Drix in it. Taking a look at last week's results and how that's shaken up the championship. It looks like, for whatever reason, it did not show it. There it is. Snakey still leading the championship after that dominant race in Japan. But we got a third race winner with Xylo. Talk us through these standings right here, Andy. You were noticing some stuff.
Yeah, I just think after 3 races to have it this tight, to have the top guy, I guess, only on 38 points, and then all the way down to 9th, everybody above 20 points, 18 points covering the top 9 is just astronomical going into week 4.
Yeah, it's nuts. Literally a second place finish could take you from 9th to 1st, assuming everybody else is
7 different podium says.
It's nuts, dude. It's absolutely nuts. 3 winners already, 3 races. Of course, we're still trending just like we did last season. We could see another race winner today. Those that have yet to win a race that definitely look strong to do one. Giants fan, absolutely. Marcus Libs looks pretty strong to do one. Double A's looks very strong to do one. And of course, we also got Drix out there right now. And then some other shaky contenders out there like DeFi. You know, he had the most insane start to the first race and then just obviously fell off from there. But he's got a chance too. Really, just a bunch of people. Minico could also come out there and come out swinging. You never know. This race is going to be anything but predictable. Pat the Rock, though, speaking of prediction, is saying he's predicting a McLaren double podium. Rage Quit, what do you think about that prediction?
Well, I guess we've already talked about Drix and his incredible pedigree, second most winningest driver in MRL history. And then there's Marcus Libs, who has been relatively quiet so far. He hasn't, I guess, put down the domination that we thought he would do in the first 3 races. But yeah, I mean, it depends what the race is like.
That's true.
If the race is as wet as this, it's anybody's. I mean, we've had some incredible times already. I mean, for Bops and Double A's to be 1,000th apart in 3rd and 4th.
Unbelievable.
Estembar sitting out on top at the moment. Giants fan just going around the final bend. What's he going to throw down?
Probably something special. Yep, 27.909. Not bad. Yep, that only gets him 8th. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and then Drix and Minico obviously off by just 5,000ths of a second too. It's insane how even when we get to wet terrain, these drivers are still just inches away from each other on these timetables. I don't get how they do it, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always
for sure. I mean, I guess what 6/10 cover the top 9. Oh, and round goes Giants fan on his in lap.
Yeah, I was watching that. He actually went around on his out lap too. I don't know if you saw that, but he was in the stadium and he went around as well. So he's having a little bit of trouble here in the wets. Obviously, that kind of explains the 9th place finish for his first lap. Drix just coming out of the pits right now, waiting for a AlphaTauri to get by, and Esteban. Yeah, that's a quick lap. Those of you that are chilling in the chat, though, if you guys might be able to take a look at the weather or hear from the Tier 1 drivers, do you guys know what the weather is going to be like for the race? Of course, the game decides to not like us as commentators and doesn't give us any weather information, so we have no clue. We're driving blind. But you know what?
We've got our last 2 drivers coming around to put times on the clock in Master Turtle and Arcadia. Arc's going to cross the line the Ferrari first.
Arcadia, let's see what he's got.
A little bit slower. And then Master Turtle should cross the line. Oh, no, Master Turtle dipped back into the pits. He wasn't happy.
Notice Minico on 4-lap old inters. He just keeps going round and round and round.
Yeah.
We're hearing a dry race today.
Dry race. Okay.
So that means that drivers are going to be running dry setups. That proves it to be interesting. Maybe that's why Giants fans seems to be having so much trouble here in the rain. Double A's actually just put himself into second pretty convincingly over Snaky.
That's a heck of a time from Esteban. Maybe Esteban. Maybe Esteban's got a slightly more downforce setup when he fancies himself out in front.
Could be. Now, I mentioned that, if it's going to be a dry race, we're going to have variable setups and stuff like that. Those that ended up opting for a high downforce setup, which this track does support a decently high downforce setup if you want to. You can run in the 40s and still be quick. If that's the setup that you opted for and that's what you like here, and that could prove really fruitful here in qualifying. Those guys that like the lower downforce setups and have practiced on that all week long, they get to qualifying, see they're going to need downforce, but they can't use it in the race. It's going to struggle. So
yeah, for sure.
That could be part of the equation too. You never know.
I guess one of the things with running a high downforce setup is once you get into those S's in Sector 2, it is incredibly difficult to make a pass on the cars in front unless you can make a move into stadium.
That's
on
true.
That final DRS zone into stadium. That's where I saw a lot of moves. I saw you do a couple of moves there today.
Yep, but those are all low downforce. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So you were low downforce.
Mm-hmm.
But in the high downforce car, trying to get around those low downforce cars, it's virtually impossible through the S's because they're so slow in front of you.
And you're just stuck. You can't make moves through there. That's correct. So, yeah, it does kind of get you stuck. Now, Latifi says, I am worried now. Latifi is Estenba. He says, everyone is low downforce. Is this question mark? You never know. That's the thing. It's a variable downforce track, so you never know. But right now, we've got 4 drivers sitting in the 27.3s, 2nd through 5th, all in the 27.3s. Drix almost getting in that pack too, but he sits in the 27.4s. He just crossed the line with a pretty solid qualifying time himself. And then Snaky obviously sits at the very top of that at 27.1. He looks good. I think Snaky's he's a force to be reckoned with today.
Yeah, for sure.
He could be worse. I mean, both the Red Bulls, the fact they're sitting 1st and 2nd is dangerous looking, man. That's impressive.
Bops is pushing around the final corner. No, dips into the pits. Lost something. Got a little bit out of shape in stadium.
Yep. Marcus Libs is stuck at the very back of the pack of traffic. And all these drivers are having to do very interesting strategies of how they're doing their out laps, in laps, and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, all of them want to run slightly heavier because it actually gives you more grip here in the wet, which is backwards from what you usually have in the dry. Marcus Libs is going to go ahead and dip in the pits. He says, I'm done with this. I'm going to, put on a fresh set of boots because assuming it's going to be a dry setup, they're not going to need it anymore.
Exactly.
Yep. Arcadia hits us with a bit of a scary fact. He says, this is my first time driving in the wet on this wheel. Please help.
Oh, my word.
That is a scary prospect, and I really can't wait for how that's going to turn out. It's going to be awesome. I will be watching you closely. Thank you for telling me.
Very closely.
Yep. Now, you want to go ahead and take a look at Minico. Go ahead and walk us through this lap as Minico's coming around the final corner. I'll take it over to you, my friend.
Yeah, so he's going to set up down the straight then. We are looking at a gap of 1.2 seconds. Sorry, 1 second between Minico and Estenbar. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles certainly that middle sector in this damp weather. Down to turn 1. takes that quite nicely. How's he going to handle turns 2 and 3 in the wet then? Just clipping the curbs. Gets a decent run down into what will be the DRS zone on the dry race.
It looks pretty solid here into 4.
Looking pretty good.
Tidy up for sure. It's definitely hard to keep yourself gripped up as you're coming through this section because you're coming from such a slow corner to having to go full throttle coming out of turn 5. But he looks pretty solid as he's on his way down to his S's. I'll let you keep running it through.
Yeah, for sure. And this is where I find that you can either find or lose so much time on this lap. Is through this section and then down into obviously the stadium. So the slow corners are obviously where you can find loads of time. But the S's, depending upon what your traction's like and your grip coming out of the final, those 2 little right-handers, he just about manages to keep it legal into the stadium section.
Wow. Yeah, he's looking pretty solid. Now, right now, he was up 5.
Smooth.
Yeah, he was up half a second. So let's see what he's got as he comes around the final bit of this corner.
Gets nice on the power. Nice and slowly, actually. Just clips the inside curb. Loses a little bit of time then, but goes up to P6 with a 27.3. Another driver in the threes.
Gosh, dude, how? There's so... How many of them are there now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers in the 27.3s. We've then got 2 in the 4s.
Yeah, Turtle
and then
and...
there's just a few gaps beginning to form down towards the back.
Take a look at that gap between Turtle and Drix. 2 1,000ths of a second in the wet. Same thing with DeFi and Marcus. 2 1,000ths of a second. That's crazy.
Hold
Again,
on. Estambar is 4/10 up, is he?
No, he's not. 5/10 up. Again, that high downforce. He opted for high downforce, and it is working to his favor. Wow!
25.9. Wow.
Okay. That's one to take a look at. He looks dangerous for sure. If he's going to have that kind of pace in the race, that is dangerous.
Yeah, that's
again,
frightening.
He could be higher downforce than everybody else right now.
Minico's just recharged his battery, so yeah, he's not going to come back in. He's just charging his battery for the rest of this lap.
Yep.
Lap 6 for him.
Got 2 minutes left to qualifying, too. So if you're not out of the pits right now, you've got to get out. And that last person is Giants fan, who is still in the pits and maybe staying there. I don't see him getting out at all. Giants fan's done.
Yeah, he's done. If he's not out now, he's done.
He's done. Yeah, he just put on softs in the garage. He's done. So,
yeah, he's done.
Wow, Giants fan, the best he will have is a 27.909 in 13th place at the best, assuming Blink, Graybush, Arcadia, Wolfer, Boss Cookie, Trappy, or Stig don't snap him, which I would be highly doubtful of. I bet you all of them have a chance of beating him. So you never know. I mean, Yellow Snowman's ahead of him, so that was a bad lap. Sorry, Snowman.
Master Turtle is a 10th up. Just about to get into the S's right now.
Let's see how he handles this. Yeah,
Right,
this Mercedes looks pretty gripped up.
Oh.
As I say
he's
that, he has a
pushing
bit of a
hard.
moment, huh? Yeah, he is. How does he not cut that curb and get a warning? That's incredible. Gets just over it perfectly. He's on the dry bit of track as best he can be. He's about to come across. Yeah, he's coming across that sector marker way ahead of his time. That puts him at a 26.8 at this current moment. Would put him on second place provisionally right now. Of course, Snakey might be able to beat that. Ooh, bit of a mistake there. And there's a spun out Haas in the middle of the road. That could be Bops. It could be Don't Blink. It's hot. It's Bops on an outlap. Luckily enough for him, the Master Turtle will come across the line, goes second like he was predicted to, and Bops will have some chance to recover, assuming he didn't break his wing, which he didn't. He just broke his pants probably after pooping out a little bit from the back. That must have been scary, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a close
We've got
moment.
Snakey. Snakey now just about approaching the end of Sector 2. He's 6/10 up.
Oh,
He's looking for that front row seat.
take a look at this. Giants fan's on an outlap right now with 7 seconds left to go. What's he thinking? He made a mistake. He's done. Yep. And there's a spun Ferrari on the side of the road right there. I think it was, they beat you Trappy. He's done with qualifying. He can't do any better. There's a Haas, like we mentioned. He's done for as well. That's going to be Bops, I'm sure. Or sorry, the other Haas, excuse me. Don't Blink. He's got his best time right there.
Drix actually snuck up onto the front row. Snakey could only manage third.
Mm-hmm.
4 1,000ths of a second between Estambar and Drix.
And Drix is pushing again. He's trying for more. Even without ERS. He's still trying for it. And he's 100th of a second up on his best time already. He would be taking that position right now. But, of course, he's not going to have any energy to get around this track. There's no way this is going to be enough for him to get around. But, all right, there's our Wolfer making a splash right there. Sits in third. Bests out Snakey, Minico, and Arcadia. But there goes Xylo at a 25.8. That's scary looking. Esteban responds in style at 25.3, 5/10 to the good of Xylo's impressive time. Turtle has to go in. Don't blink. What's he got right now? He's about to come across the sector marker. Where's he got? Oh, he's slow. Double A is not going to improve either. He's at 25.9. He improved, but not enough to take pole. Drix is just barely up on his best time. Right now, he would be taking off 3 positions from people, but no more than that. He would be at best sitting in third. What's Drix going to do here in the final sector? Is it good enough to take that third place position or better? It's not. 25.9. He lost it all in the third sector. He's just right behind his teammate for the night, and that's qualifying done. Oh my gosh, Rage Quit Esteban. He came out swinging.
He came out swinging from the set. Even his banker was quicker than everybody else's by some distance. But I think if we look at the guys that we talked about, Esteban didn't come up in the list of people we talked about. However, Xylo, Double A's, Marcus, Drix,
and DeFi. And DeFi. I even said DeFi as a shout too.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, these guys are all totally on it. But Giants fan, look where he's starting. 19th place. He's got to do a Lando Norris-esque drive today, like he just did in this race that we saw, and go from 19th to some points because he's got his work cut out for him. That's incredible. McLaren obviously stoked about that one. Those two drivers are probably just absolutely jamming on a 4th and 5th finish there in qualifying. Esteban taking pole, Xylo into 2nd, Double A's into 3rd, Marcus Libs into 4th, Drix into 5th, DeFi into 6th, Wolfer into 7th, Sketchable in 8th, Bob's 9th, and Snaky rounds out the top 10 after looking so solid at the beginning of qualifying, falls down the order. Graybush reserving tonight, puts himself into 11th, Minico in 12th, Arcadia in 13th, Yellow Snowman, great qualifying actually for him in 14th, Match Turtle in 15th, Blink in 16th, Trappy in 17th, Stig in 18th, Giants fan 19th, and Boss Cookie in last. Sketchable, in my opinion, a bit of a standout as well, sitting in 8th. And he's felt a little bit rough for sure when it comes to these last few races, so that's pretty good qualifying for him. Hopefully he can build on that.
Yeah, there must have been quite a lot of changes in that last 2 minutes because Snaky was right up there in the top 3.
He was. And then everybody just came out there and just threw down some 25s out of nowhere. That qualifying tight gap was nuts. It was still less than a second between 1st and 10th. So, never know. Now, of course, the race is where all the money is made, and we are here at a dry Circuit de Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I always think it's Circuit de Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, but it's not. It's Autodromo de Hermanos Rodriguez. But neither here nor there. I'll get the pronunciation wrong every single time, but I won't get this race order wrong. With a crazy pole lap from Esteban. I'm sure he's looking to go and just make a statement. But remember, he mentioned he's running a high downforce setup. And if you run high downforce going through the start, you are in a serious disadvantage off the line because there's enough time. I think it's 920 meters from the P1 position to corner 1, or to the braking zone of corner 1. That's a lot of distance to cover to stay in the lead with a higher downforce setup than everyone behind you.
It is. And we saw it in the IRL race earlier on today with obviously Max and actually Checo before he ended up in the wilderness.
Yeah.
You know, Checo made some great moves as well with the slipstream off the start line. So yeah, if Esteban in P1 has got a high force down setup, high downforce setup.
Let's see what happens. We got some lights. We got 5 lights. Oh my gosh, it's time to go. And our 5 lights are out. And it's go time. We got a good launch from Esteban for sure. He probably heard us talking about him. He gets a really good launch off of Xylo. Double A's tries to come up from behind him, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it past Xylo. Marcus Libs really flying off the line, though, all the way up into 3rd, already in front of Double A's. It's going to be a hard charge into turn 1. Double A's looks for an inside line, doesn't have it. Drix stays behind his teammate for the night, and it looks like Double A's is going to sneak in the inside, and he's going to force Marcus Libs to take a wider line. I think there might be a spun car. No, there isn't. But there are cars losing and gaining positions all over the track. Now it's a drag race down to corner 4. And Graybush is out and turn 2. And a VSC is there.
VSC. Wow.
Graybush and Turtle getting stuck up with it. Stig also in there. Oh, man. Giants fan and Blink already with 5-second penalties as well. And a bit of a mistake from Boss Cookie. Almost hitting people coming into turn 5. Boss Cookie needs to be a little bit careful. What's he doing? He just passed somebody under safety car, Boss Cookie. Uh-oh. Somebody go ahead and take a look at that one. That was a mistake from Boss Cookie. Wow, Snaky down to 12th.
Snaky.
Yep.
They just exchanged positions as well.
Yep, that's what's happening.
5-second penalties, by the way, for Don't Blink and Giants fan. That makes Giants fans race even more difficult.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It seems like it was a penalty of collision kind of thing, but I don't know if it was really fair or not. Now, the deltas between the top 3 drivers all big. I don't know exactly why they're so spread out. It could be a problem of a timing glitch or something, but not sure.
Big contact between Marcus Libs and Double A's as they went through turns 2 and 3.
Yeah. However, it looks like they both made it out without any damage, so that's good.
Yeah, it looks that way, although I would imagine Marcus would have picked up certainly would have picked up a warning.
Could have, yeah. There's Double A's charging on the back of him. They're hoping the VSC ends before they get to turn 1. They really hope it ends before it gets to turn 1, because that could mess them up big time. And it does end just in time. And that's going to allow Drix to take the outside line. Look at Drix go on the outside of Double A's. He looks for it. Doesn't quite have the braking. But that was almost a picturesque move from Drix on the reserve night tonight. He gets a pretty good run coming out of turn 3. He's going to have that big overspeed on Double A's. And that's an easy pass for him down into turn 4. Drix.
Oh, big contact between Sketchy Bull and... Oh, my God. 3 wide into the chicane.
What are they doing?
Please, God, no.
And it's more. It's more action. Oh, that's Bob's DeFi. Sketchy Bull. There's a Red Bull trying to get in front of that. Red Bull dives on the inside of it, too. Oh, my gosh. And the Ferrari tries to get involved with it as well. That's the Ferrari of Arcadia. He's getting really optimistic. And R. Wolfer left to pick up the pieces of everybody. He's at the back of it, but I think he's got no wing as well. He looks really slow to the S's. Yellow Snowman going to be right behind him. He's not going to be happy about this one. Boss Cookie, hopefully he can stay chill as well and not make a problem. Yellow Snowman's going to get past 4 sure, but I don't know about Boss Cookie. He's going to have his work cut out for him to make this pass clean. Barely gets it done. The Alfa Romero gives him just enough room, but not too much more than that. Higher up, speaking of Alfa Romeo, DeFi having a bit of a mistake. He's having a battle at side-by-side with Bob's coming through the final corner. They are still neck and neck. And Bob's just barely has to relent. Double A's sits in 5th. Drix into 4th. Marcus Libs into 3rd. And Esteban and Xylo have swapped positions for the lead. Xylo back in the lead again here in Mexico after leading last week's race quite a bit. He must be happy about that.
Yeah, for sure.
You were calling that action crazy, man. There was some insanity happening in the back. What was going on?
Yeah, just a lot of bumping of tyres. People going 3 wide into the chicane at the start of Sector 2. It is not a place to be doing that kind of shenanigans.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where Wolfer lost that end plate.
Mm-hmm. Who Boss Cookie and Yellow Snowman still fighting it out as well. Boss Cookie, I think he's just hanging on for dear life right now. Yeah, he's able to stay in front of Yellow Snowman, but only just. Snowman definitely putting the pressure on him for sure. Higher up the grid right there, there's Minico putting pressure on Sketchy Bull big time. Sketchy Bull, one of the guys that was caught up in that 3-wide action, wasn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
Ugh,
Sketchy Bull actually looked like he wasn't the protagonist. He was more the victim.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Xylo, by the way, on the soft tyre, the only runner on the soft tyre so far. He's going to want to make those pay.
Yeah.
He sets the new fastest lap of the race. He's going to want to make those pay because they're only going to last, I would say 10, maybe 11 laps.
Yeah. It depends how good your management is too. But obviously, you can sneak out 15 if you're really good with them. But realistically, 10 is where they start to really peak off. You can feel a full 20 out of a 100% race. So obviously, you just cut that in half. But yeah, MV1 puts out a good point that Xylo and Esteban already pulling out of DRS. There goes Esteban, though, around the outside. He's going to ruin that soft tire advantage of Xylo as best he possibly can. He wants to make him have to work for it and take suboptimal lines to wear out those tires, and it's working out great for him. Esteban gets in front through turn 4, 5, and 6. He's going to lead going into the S's, but Xylo obviously will try to snap back on him. What do you think about the downforce setup between these two? Does it look like they have pretty similar straight line speed?
Yeah, they do, and I'm just watching them through the S's right now just to have a look, and Esteban seems pretty stuck to the road, full on the throttle through all 3.
He was speed, but Xylo, watch the way that he closed down through that straightaway right after that, going into the stadium. Definitely, Xylo has slightly lower wings for sure.
Yeah, I think we'll see that on this straight now.
Yep,
because he's going to have DRS as well.
He will, yeah, he will. 7/10. It'd be really hard to make that pass with 7/10, even with the lower downforce setup. Yeah. You never know. Somebody who does have a shot at a pass, though, is Double A's coming around the final corner onto Drix. Drix looking vulnerable, sitting in 4th. Double A's got the DRS, the ERS advantage.
Here goes Xylo. Here goes Xylo making a move. Gets the job done before turn 1.
Long before, too. How did he do that? Double A's, same thing. Long before turn 1. Drix has to just stay behind. That's crazy. Yeah, you're right. That overspeed is nuts. That's absurd. Now there's a bit of a gap. Obviously, Marcus Libbs kind of a no man's land. 3 seconds in front, 3 seconds behind. But behind Marcus Libbs is a train of epic proportions. DeFi looking for an outside line on Drix. DeFi turning in very hard onto Drix. I don't know about that. That was barely any room. I think Drix maybe opened up the door for him though and gave him that outside line a little bit too easy. But Drix gonna have to just relent and let that position go. Bops just kind of sits back and watches him battle it out. He's got a front row seat. May as well get some popcorn out and eat that in his race suit because this is a good view of some fighting going on in front of him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to watch it too much because he'll have Minico all over the back of him.
That's a good point. And we know Minico, he wants to make some points up. He's had a bit of a tough start to this season. Way worse than obviously last season. He had an amazing season last season, so he's going to feel pretty hard done by all the incidents that he's gotten into. Don't blink, catch himself 3 seconds of time penalty. A little bit farther down the grid, he's sitting in 15th. Now 2 drivers with penalties still. Don't blink with now 8 after getting 5 from a collision. And there's a yellow flag at Snakey. Oh, it's Snakey. Snakey spun in the...
Oh, he just lost a position as well, and now he's lost multiple.
Tough, man. That race started tough for him. He was sitting in 10th, and now he's all the way down into 16th.
Yeah, both him and Wolf are the 2 big losers of the day so far, obviously, in Grey Bush.
Yep, yeah. And
the 2 big losers.
Stig as well.
Boss Cookie. Boss Cookie is up 9 positions.
Wow. He's cooking. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. Our biggest gainer, as of right now, is Boss Cookie. Biggest loser, our Wolf are currently on track. Stig staying exactly dead even. I don't know how, though, because everybody around him has damage, including him has an extra pit stop as well. But now there's a high battle between Minico and Bops. They are side-by-side going through turns 5, 6, and 7. They really do not want to relent, but it's going to be Minico who gets in front. And Bops has to stay behind now. Minico up 5 positions from the start. Great start for him. Marcus Libbs obviously up 1. Double A's down 1. DeFi up 1. Drix down 1. Those position changes at the very top end. There's quite a few of them. Sketchy Bull grabbing a penalty. What do we think about penalties this race, Andy? Do you think we're going to see a big litany of it? Or do you think it's going to be relatively clean?
I would expect there to be less here than I would have seen across others. I didn't see many in your race, to be fair. Tier 3.
No, not I was the only one with them.
Plenty. Yeah, you had all of them.
I took the burden for the whole grid. You're welcome.
Yeah, there were plenty in Tier 5. So we had lots of guys with 3, a few guys with 6, one guy with 12, but he crashed out.
Oof.
Yeah, so I would expect a few guys to pick up 3. A couple of reasons, really, I guess. They're racing hard. So as we've said about things like incident submissions, they're pushing for every last little inch of the track. And it's a real easy track just to make a very small error that can cost you 3 seconds or certainly get you a warning and get you on the way to 3.
That's a great point. That is a really great point. Yeah, and as these drivers are going as hard as they possibly can, really pushing the limits of their cars, you're right, there's going to be more problems, than ever before. And of course, as of right now, we've seen a little bit of action. Not a whole ton of crazy incident level action, but definitely some bumping and grinding, as the kids would call it, the RG bargy. Up at the front, though, I'm taking a notice that Xylo just losing crazy amounts of time to Esteban, who's pulling away like nuts, even though Xylo's on the softs. And Marcus Libbs is slowly but surely clawing his way back up to Xylo, and he's running away from Double A's, who is on the hard tire versus Marcus on the mediums. I think these early stints are actually better for the softer compounds like the medium and the soft, because they seem to last longer than in general on other races. So the heavy tire isn't going to make as much of a difference as it usually would on other tracks. This is crazy. Someone's saying, I don't know what Gordon Ramsay showed Esteban behind the scenes, but he is cooking. I couldn't say it better myself, MD1. He is absolutely flying right now. Now, Double A's has a lot to worry about right now with DeFi on the back of him, with DRS advantage, of course, but unable to make passes still. I think it's that downforce differential starting to play into effect here. Minico and Drix have a side-by-side moment coming into 4. Drix tries to defend it for Minico. They know each other very well from other leagues, of course. Drix barely staying ahead. They're getting wheel-to-wheel action for sure. Minico just snacking his wheel on the inside of Drix's side pod, but they can barely hold him off. Bops, obviously, still stuck behind them, watching them do their thing. Oh, Drix have a bit of a moment. Uh-oh. This is looking good for Minico. He might be able to make a move here coming out of the asses. Minico looks really solid to do it. There's a yellow flag right here. It's a Mercedes of Sketchy Bull. Yep, he's in a tough spot. He just got to wait.
Minico around the outside. Minico around the outside. Catches Drix. A little bit of contact there, but Minico does get the move done.
Man, that was right as I was looking at Sketchy Bull, too, to kind of figure out exactly what had happened with him. Tough that I missed that one. But it does look like Minico did make that move done. Now, again, the downforce differential. Here's the question. Does Drix have a lower downforce setup than Miniko? Bops, of course, wants to make a pass on Drix. He's going to feel really good if he can make this one happen, but Drix doesn't want to let it happen. I think he might have to, though, because it looks like Bops has that overspeed, but Bops is going to get stuck because he's going to have to be... oh, yeah, he kind of had to wait that one out. Drix a little bit late on the brakes. Drix going to still have that inside line through, too, but Bops!
What a move!
Wow, that was commitment. How did he have the confidence to go so flat through there? I don't know.
That was wild, but Drix has fought back.
Yep. He's going to get back in front. Yeah, there's that DRS advantage.
Sketchy's nipped into the pits then.
Ugh, tough. Yeah, he must have had a bit of maybe a wing change or something like that too. Yeah, Bob so far moved the day on that one. That was incredible. But again, look at the top. Look where Marcus Libs is compared to Xylo.
Yeah.
That soft tire
is
falling
right
off.
on him.
Yeah. In fact, I think Xylo has to make a tough choice right here. Do I stay out for one more lap and let Mark... Actually, I think Marcus already has a guaranteed DRS advantage down this big straight. Yeah. So I think Xylo is probably better served to go in right now. Let's see if he does take that opportunity. No, he does not. He stays out for one more lap. He's not going to go defend this one to the straightaway. No shot. Let's go ahead and take a look at everybody's ERS as well. Oh, yeah. Nope. It's done.
Yeah, matter of fact, Xylo had been defending, I think, with that ERS.
Yeah. You're right. He's down to
yeah,
just 10%.
I think he's got to try and stick in the DRS of Marcus for the rest of this lap, perhaps. And maybe just make that sacrifice and get himself in.
As of right now, it looks like he's pretty confident to do that, but Marcus Libs is catching up to Estenbaugh at a rate of knots. Estenbaugh having either a really rough sector right here or something, but he just definitely lost like 0.3, I think, to the back half of Sector 2. Something happened. I don't know. That high downforce setup. He needs this S. He needed the S's to be his, saving grace. Of course, Marcus is honestly making a bit of a mistake going into the first part of the S's, but so did Xylo. As Xylo got all the way up on a curb, he's getting a little bit squirrely. Actually, you can see him having to make some corrections. Xylo looks like those tires are falling off a cliff.
Estenbaugh got those 3 or 4 tenths back. Lost a couple of them again on that little straight. So yeah, so Estenbaugh with the high downforce. Marcus Libs definitely got that front wing in the 30s, rear wing, I would say, in the 20s.
Easy. Yeah, that's what I'd be running too. I think if you can have almost equal cornering pace to these guys and you have lower downforce, you're the one who's the better. You have the favorite setup, in my opinion, because the straights are going to make up all that difference by a long shot. I've heard that a difference in downforce setup can be worth up to a quarter to a half a second down that main straight. It's huge.
Well, he just, a little mistake from Marcus, but yeah, he'd actually made up 4 tenths down the straight, lost it all in turns 1 and 2.
Tough.
He had a little bit of a moment.
That's rough.
That's allowed Xylo to get back up on the back of him again.
Yep. Now, Drix and Miniko, their battle forced them pretty far away from that grid up, from that little pack ahead of them. And Bops looking to try to pounce on Drix, but Bops does not have the energy nor the straight line pace to make a move on Drix at any point. And like you'd mentioned, he's going to get stuck behind the S's. Let's go ahead and stay on his camera and watch how he handles being stuck behind him in the S's, because, being stuck behind a car that's definitely slower than you through these corners is just got to be so frustrating.
Yeah, for sure. And do you know what? It's tough as well. I mean, I ran into the back of somebody that was going incredibly slow through here earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually saw Bob just compromise his line a little bit. He had to take a bit of a wider entry into the second half of the S's because he wasn't confident on making that turn in and not hitting, I want to say, Drix right there. So, yeah, definitely going to be some challenges for Bops to kind of drive around him almost and around that difference. Both of them having pretty equal Sector 3s, though. I think maybe Bob's a little bit better than Drix in Sector 3, but 3 tenths right now between the two of them. It could be Bob's finally making a move here. He's going to have a lot of overspeed with energy. Yep, he's got it. But Drix, if he wants to burn, he could probably hold this one. It doesn't look like he wants to. So he's just going to let him go through and just kind of, hang out and let the fight come to him. I think he's pretty confident that as this race goes on, he'll be able to catch back up.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a race of... Got to have patience.
Mm-hmm.
I know we always say you can't win it on lap 1, turn 1, but, the longer the race goes, maybe there'll be some incidents, who knows, but at the minute, everybody seems pretty spaced out enough not to be causing too many incidents, so...
That's true.
I'd like to be able to see a little bit more of this good driving from the guys.
Woo! Inside line. Oh, there's a crash into Drix. Boss Cookie absolutely at fault on that one. Stuck a nose in at a very silly spot and causes a VSC, spinning Drix out into the S's. I'm not sure what Boss Cookie was thinking on that one, but that was a huge mistake from him. I was on his camera, and Boss Cookie is going to not only, you know, pay the price for potentially a penalty point, but also going to lose wing. And he lost a full wing all the way off.
Drix Pinocchio on.
Yeah, he's got full. Drix somehow coming out with no damage. It looks like, I don't know how. But you know, that's I guess a bit of how it works out. Now everyone in the top going in and pitting except for Double Ace. Hold on a second, Double Ace. What are you thinking? Hard runners not going in and pitting. They're the only ones.
Yeah. Yep. Trappy stays out. Minico stays out. No, Minico's gone in. Beg your pardon.
Yeah. Trappy, though, you know, he made up some positions because of the fact that he stayed out, but he's not up to the front anymore. Still, you know, it's still Double A's in the lead. Estenbaugh, then Marcus Libs, then Xylo. Oh my gosh, Marcus Libs, Xylo, and Estenbaugh right next to each other still. If this turned into a full safety car, that would have really shook this guy up. I don't know. I'd be scared if it turned into a full safety car at this point. We have some pretty intense safety car restarts here in Tier 1, don't we?
We certainly do. They're some of the highlights, it has to be said.
That's a way of putting it, yeah. Oh, WP Trappy.
Oh, Trappy.
I watched him. He was holding on the back of Xylo, just he's probably trying his best to have as much advantage as he could without catching that penalty, and I think he just overstayed his welcome.
Yeah, and now he's wishing he'd gone in the pits.
Yeah, big time.
But, however, actually, he can go in and get rid of that 5 seconds now.
He can, and he will have to at some point. So no matter what, that 5 seconds is going to get served this race. So I guess it's, you know, a bit of a silver lining. Up at the front, though, it's Double A's with 12 lap old hards versus Estenbaugh on fresh hards. I want to see that pace differential. I want to see how long it takes for that to get closed up. As of right now, it's 3/10 out of the final corner for Estenbaugh over Double A's. That's nuts, dude. That is a quick difference in pace.
Estenbaugh's got the low downforce setup. Sorry, high downforce setup.
Correct.
Be interesting again just to see. You know, Trappy goes and just serves that straight away.
Yeah. There goes Marcus Libs, actually letting Xylo just get right through him. He just didn't even defend that one. I'm curious as to what the thought process was for that, because it was very much so just a, hey, go ahead and have it. Probably just didn't want to get held up by it. So maybe that was a smarter move right there, actually. I think that probably could have been a bit of an educated move. Marcus Libs is right up on the back of Xylo now. Still tooth and nail between these two. What's another word for it? Nip and tuck? Is that a thing?
Nip and tuck. Nip and tuck. It's nip and tuck.
That's a British phrase, is it not?
I think it must be, because it makes absolutely no sense.
None. Not at all. Oh,
so that's why it's probably British.
That's a fair point. Well, Marcus Libs, you can see the downforce differential between him and Xylo. It's pretty mega as they're going through the S's, but then Marcus Libs catches up 3/10 on him in the straights. Like, yeah, it's pretty obvious to see that difference. It's quite fascinating to me as well.
Yeah, we might see these guys, you know, playing that swapping around game for the next few laps.
That'd be the smart thing to do. That's if Marcus Libs can keep up. I think Xylo's actually just putting down better pace right now. He's just faster, actually. Speaking of better pace, wow. Estenbaugh on Double A's has made, I think, 3 seconds in a single lap.
Yep. Yeah, 3 seconds, 1 lap. Crazy.
Yep. However, Estenbaugh, obviously, he's pushing. You can hear the way that he's going through that turn 1, 2, 3. As soon as he makes those turns, he gets a quick downshift and then also a blip of throttle. Like, he's really pushing the maximum limits of his car right here. So, Double A's, you know, needs to play some hold-up game or something if he wants to kind of slow down Estenbaugh's crazy militant advance. Someone who's not advancing. Oh, go ahead.
Trappy's in the pits again.
Rough. Yeah, actually, since we're looking down far at the bottom, before I go down there, we got Estenbaugh on the back of Double A's. This is incident territory. Estenbaugh has to be patient. There it is. Smart move from Estenbaugh. Forced a mistake out of Double A's. But Double A's, the overspeed central, just holds that in front of him. And neither of them really using much energy. Estenbaugh using 0. He's got basically all of them left, and Double A still has 70% left. So Estenbaugh playing very patient. Yeah, Double A's teammate, Giants fan, still stuck in 15th. Desperately wanting a full safety car, but not getting it as Estenbaugh gets through with absolutely no worries whatsoever.
Giants fan does take P14 from Boss Cookie.
And then from him to Snaky, it's a pretty far gap. It's 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2-second gap. But the, I guess the penalty situation, 3 seconds for Snaky, 6 for Wolfer, 3 for Don't Blink. So Giants fan will be able to see that top left of his screen. He'll be able to see that the guys in front of him have got penalties.
It's true.
So that'll give him plenty of gusto.
Yep. I see Drix and Yellow Snowman having a little bit of a snack. A little bit of a battle in 9th and 10th. That harkens back to a season 4? Season 3, season 4, when Drix and Yellow Snowman fought for a championship. You remember those days?
It's a long time ago for a man of my age.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Nearly.
I joined Moose back at the end of season 3, I think.
Yeah, I think it was that season, or maybe it was the season after that, where it was for sure a full 2 years ago, which is crazy to think. But yeah, Yellow Snowman and Drix actually used to be championship protagonists against each other. It's cool to see them back on track next to each other, but now 10 positions away from where they used to being. Those championship fights. They're sitting in 9th and 10th right now. Up at the front, though, we still got Marcus Libs hanging on to the back of Xylo. Look at the ERS advantage. Xylo is straight up drained. Marcus Libs holding 70% energy. He's barely even using it. If he wants to use it, he could use it any moment and get past. And they're catching double A's at a rate of knots, too.
Esteban has checked out, by the way.
Yeah,
3 seconds down the road.
Yeah, he's absolutely gone, girl.
He's gaining time in the slow corners.
Yeah, he really is.
Unbelievably.
I think I see Marcus Lib's strategy right here, because I think he had an opportunity to pass Xylo at a couple points here if he wanted to burn that energy. But he's probably said, like, I see double A's in front of us. I think both of us need to get in front of double A's, and then I'll make the move. I think that's probably a better way of looking at it, too, because Xylo's about to get held up like crazy right here. This is incident territory again. Into the S's with a slower car in front. This is where problems happen. So keep an eye out, everybody. Watch for potential mistakes or big moves coming into the stadium. It's going to be a big one from Xylo. Marcus will be too far back to have something happen, too. So he has to sit and wait behind the Williams that caused him so much trouble last week in COTA. And now it's Marcus Libs, Xylo, and double A's, the 3 podium sitters last week, all fighting it out in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th this time, with Esteban leading the 3. Marcus Libs absolutely going to try to make this pass. Yep, there goes the energy. And double A's just not even going to try to fight it. He's like, all right, go ahead. Let you guys do your thing. Jack saying Drix in the points after the incident is crazy.
Marcus on Xylo down into turn 1. That's
no way,
wild.
He just made a double?
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus.
Easily.
Wow. And then again, I will say Xylo had no DRS, and he's also run entirely out of ERS. And so now Marcus is burning some energy. Oh, yeah, he's burning energy right now, too. He played his chips quite well on that one. And double A's is too far back to fight off Xylo as well. So, yeah, that's an easy pass for Marcus Libs on a double overtake. Nice one from him. That's just strategy.
Yeah, Wolf has DNF'd in the pits. He's had enough for the day.
Yep. I do want to say one thing. We're right at the halfway point right here as well. Something to note as well. Boss Cookie's also just gone to the pits right now as well. Be wary for that car, the retired car of All Warfare, coming out onto the track right in the center of the track. There's going to be a couple cars behind him. Actually, it's the leaders.
It's going to be the lead cars.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh.
This happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and this also happened in the social race. Watch for our Wolfer's car here on the view of Esteban, Xylo, and Marcus Libs. Let's go ahead and take Esteban's POV first, because he'll see it coming off first. It oftentimes parks right in the racing line. Right at the entry to the corner, too. Okay, it went off the track. Thank gosh.
Oh, wow.
Wait, no, it didn't go off the track. It forced somebody else off track. It forced Boss Cookie to a DNF.
DNF! No way.
And the safety car.
No way. This game. It's still not pulled off. It's still driving on the track. Almost to the end of Sector 1.
Gosh. And it's finally done. It finally disappears off the side of the track.
That's crazy. It's
Boss
driven
Cookie
off the track.
He is going to be so hard done by for that one. He's going to feel extremely upset that retired car of All Warfare just came out on the track. Don't put Arcadia down, all getting a free pit stop, too. Oh, my gosh. This is wild.
Well, I expect double A's to probably dip in as well.
He has to. I think all these guys at the top, if they have a fresh set of mediums, they need it right now. Esteban, if he has a fresh set of mediums, Xylo as well, all these guys, they should be taking it. They've got 29. Minico and down. It's 30 seconds between Minico to Arcadia. It's still a free pit stop. Minico should take it as well.
Kayla says that happened in Tier 4 as well and caused 2 people to DNF.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's one trouble about this track is that glitch is just, it's so dangerous. A lot of these drivers are getting on softs though. There's 3 people on softs: Drix, Arcadia, and Master Turtle. Last time I saw Drix on a big tire advantage like this, it was a race where he put on one of the most masterful drives I've ever seen, almost stopping Gamer from getting his most recent win in Moose Racing League at France. I don't know if you remember that race last season.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. He had the tire advantage post a wet race and just found a way to get some extra pace out of it. So we'll see if he gets that. But a lot of people are going to be picking mediums right here. What's Double A is going to pick, though? Is he going to go on the red ones or the yellow ones? He's going yellow. DeFi.
Yeah.
We'll pop the yellow boys on as well. Bops is the last one. He's the one variable left, along with Minico. Bops on the mediums. Minico, what's he thinking? On to the mediums as well. Bops, excuse me, onto the hards. He probably didn't have any mediums left. So Bops in the biggest trouble of them all, in my opinion. He's going to have to get a ridiculously good launch and try to get the tires up to speed as quick as possible. Estenba, Xylo, and Marcus currently make up the provisional podium. Giants fan, notice this. He's clawing his way back to the points, though. He's sitting at 12th.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on his way up.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the penalties and see what everyone's got right here. 3 seconds to all, except for Stig. Everybody's served their 5 seconds into the pits already now. So if somebody had a 5-second penalty, it's already been served. Stig, unfortunately, sitting in 17th with 6 seconds of penalties as well. Really having the howler of a race out of the entire grid. Probably the worst of them all. Don't blink. Looking like a pretty solid spot, though he does have that penalty, so he's well out of the points at this current moment. Giants fan, of course, as soon as he catches up to him, will be taking over that spot. Arcadia sitting in 8th, but after everybody bunches up as well, he will also be losing positions post-race penalties. Who do you think is the driver with the best advantage at this current moment? Who do you think's got it?
Well, I mean, I look at the top 3 or 4 guys. You know, I think for me, it's take your pick out of those guys. You know, the same tire strategy. I think you're right. I think Bops will struggle on the restart. I think Arcadia and Drix will have good restarts, but I suppose when the safety car comes in, we're going to have at least one more lap on the safety car. So that's going to give their soft tires a little bit more chance to go the distance. But they're going to have to make them work early doors. So as soon as the safety car, you know, Drix and Arcadia have got to make those soft tires work for them.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat.
And then hold. Because remember, these softs really die off right around that lap 10 range. So yeah, they're in a bit of a do or die kind of situation. Arcadia obviously sitting on penalties too, so he really just needed to play something risky. Drix, of course, just was in a spot where it wasn't necessarily worth it for him to play it safe either way. I think both these guys are probably thinking, hey, I can get on softs right now, make up as many positions as I can, and hope for a safety car right about lap 30. If there's a safety car lap 30, then everyone's going to go in again. Everyone's going to get on softs, and they will have made up positions.
Yeah.
That's the only chance. That's kind of what they're thinking. Otherwise, you know, they are kind of in that gamble spot either way. They're right in the back part of the points. I mean, what do you have to lose, right? Why not?
Well, exactly. If you're only scheduled right now to get 1, 2, or 4 points,
yeah, screw it.
May as well go for more, right?
I agree. I would send it, absolutely. Send on that aggressive strategy. And also, this now allows the Ferrari and the McLaren garage to be on alternate strategies, too. So, in case there are differences of pit stops, stuff like that, you know, it won't have them hold each other up.
I guess as an absolute bare minimum, if I'm Drix and Arcadia now, I've got my eyes on Bops.
Yes. He's the one.
That would be the one guy I've got my eye on further up. I guess Arcadia will be able to see Bops on his screen, whereas Drix won't.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I think if they don't find themselves up to 6th within 2 laps, they're done for.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I wonder how they're
out in front.
Yeah, I wonder how they're also preserving their tires here through this these safety car laps. They got to be nice, though. The safety car's going to stay out for one more lap, so that's actually good for them. They got a little bit less wear on these tires. Hold on to them just a little bit longer. For those of you guys that are in the chat, go ahead and throw in your predictions. Who do you think is the favorite to take this race at this current moment? Realistically, you know, Andy, you're right. The top 5, in my opinion, all have dang near equal chance at this win right now. Esteban, Silo, Marcus, Double A's, and DeFi. Out of the 5 of them, I'll give you guys little stories. Esteban, known to be an absolute blisterful man in qualifying, but he's had a bit of a rough start to the season. Snakey, of course, leading the championship, but sitting down way far away, so today is not going to be his day for that championship order. Xylo, after winning last week, he's going to feel pretty hot, but Marcus Libbs feels hard done by throughout this season, sits himself in 3rd. Double A's as well, feeling hard done by throughout this season. He knows he's quick, but he's been the most consistent, I would say, out of all 4 of these top guys. He sits right there in 4th. And DeFi, after the howler of a race, but absolutely insane qualifying that happened in the opening round at Qatar this season, he's going to try to do a bit of a redemption drive and try to find his way back up to the front. We're seeing votes for a lot of people saying Esteban. We got 2 Estebans and somebody saying Marcus Libbs. No favorites to Xylo, Double A's, or DeFi, though. So if they're watching this right now or hearing it, I bet you they have a chip on their shoulder.
Do you know what? I've been liking the way that Marcus was conserving his battery for the whole first 20 laps.
Yeah.
He was on like 75, 80% battery and was still all over the back of Xylo. Xylo had 0. And Double A's, I think Double A's at that point had, I don't know, 50, 60. Oh, we're going to have a problem here. We've got people changing positions because of Esteban.
Big slowdown.
Oh, he's so slow.
Well, they've already figured
themselves
out. They've already figured themselves out, but yeah, it's always gnarly when when it slows down like that. Look at the pace from this far away camera. It looks hilarious. Look at how slow they're going, dude. I think a golf cart go faster than these guys. This is incredible. They're getting ready to go racing again.
I was sat still on 2 safety car restarts.
Oof. Yep. Hey, speaking of restart, we're off back racing already. Esteban going right before the final corner. He gets a good launch, but Double A's, I would say, probably got the best launch out of everybody. Xylo, remember, lower down 4 than Esteban. Esteban has to weave left, then right, then left, then right. But he probably will be able to hold it going to turn 1, unless Xylo has something to say about it on the outside. Xylo looking for it, doesn't go for it. Now he does, actually. It's a late move for it, but he has to back off it. Marcus Libbs just going to stay patient, hang up behind, and I see Double A's also lurking. He's waiting for that moment. There's a yellow flag in the back. There it is. Sketchy. Oh, gets a 3-second time penalty, and I think Don't Blink got collected out of everything in the back. Just a yellow flag, not a safety car. Xylo, big dive to the inside. Marcus Libbs seeing the move right there. Marcus Libbs trying to take the outside line. Double A's tries to get his nose stuck up in there. I don't think he'll be able to make the late move. No, he won't. He has to back out of that. Probably smart. But Minico, a whole second behind these top 4, and it's a top 4 fight right now. Only one of these 3 will not get a podium at this current moment if they finish on this order. It would be Esteban's best finish in a very long... Esteban's won a race before, but it's been a hot minute. Double A's looking to go get himself another race win. Be his second one here at Moose Racing. He doesn't have the dive, though.
Is that with Bops? What's that with Bops?
Oh.
Bops is going super slow. Super slow.
Oh, yeah. He must have had a big problem in the S's. Oh, yeah. Man. He was sitting so pretty, too. And unfortunately for that to unravel like that.
Drix was right on him.
Yep. Could have made a mistake. It could have been a crash.
Yeah. Looked like a mistake to me.
Yeah.
Somebody going that slow. He didn't seem to have to... Oh, Bops has left the session.
Oh, it looks like a game crash. Oh. That'll do it. And looks like DeFi has gone to the pits as well. DeFi was fighting at the top, and he's gone down to the pits. He must have had a broken wing. Oh, man. That's tough. Giants fan has found himself back up into 8th. What the heck? He's coming out of nowhere, and right now he's actually got 7th on penalties. Trix is catching back up to this top 5 fight. Remember, he's on those softs, so he's got that advantage for the next few laps, and he's got to make it work while he can. Minico sits in 5th. Double A's into 4th still. Marcus Libbs in 3rd. Xylo in 2nd still. And Esteban still leading the race. The high downforce setup is doing work for him through the S's. You can see how much he pulls away from Xylo through the S's. And as soon as he got out of the S's, Xylo's going to find some pace. There it is. Yep, watch the... Look at that delta time. It's just so telling. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And also looking at ERS levels, take a look at everybody else. Double A's doing the best management out of the top 5 at this current moment. Marcus Libbs in a close second, I would say, and then Minico in the 3rd of those 3. And Esteban really burning all of his energy that he can just to survive.
Yeah, he's just trying to survive on the straights.
Yep.
But
he has to.
Absolutely killing it in the slow parts.
Yeah, he is. Now,
here comes Xylo.
I was about to mention, Xylo's catching up on him really quickly. Uh-oh, maybe an outside line right here? Think he's going to look for it? No, he decided to stay behind. And because of the fact that they're doing those kinds of like switchbacky looking moves like that, that's just letting Marcus Libbs stay in DRS. And it forced Double A's out of it, actually. Double A's technically has DRS, but he lost it going through the turn 1 and 2. Xylo looking for the outside line, doesn't have it again. Still has to hold behind the Red Bull. The Red Bull of Esteban making that car wide as can be. I don't know if it's a Formula 1 car or a bus on track, because he's really trying to block people up right now. Wow. Oh, yeah. Would you be able to invite Bops to the game? Am I good for that? Should be on your friends list. If not, his teammate needs to get him. No worries. Look at the front. Oh, Xylo. Oh, Xylo. If he is within, I would say, 4/10 of Esteban coming out of the final corner, it's done. Xylo will take that move. But the thing is that going to slow down the two of them? Definitely slowing them down through the stadium. Marcus Libs poised for a move. Both these guys in the front have 20% battery. Marcus more than double that energy output in his tank. Is he going to save it? I think he is going to save it, and that's going to be Xylo burning everything he's got to make that move. Xylo's going to have it before the corner. Oh, yeah, it's done. Esteban just has to sit by and let it happen. Marcus Libs hangs up behind, waits for his move, because he's going to get Esteban for sure into turn 4 at this current rate, assuming he gets a good exit. But the exit isn't quite there, and Esteban trying to fight back, but doesn't have the energy to hold it off. Marcus Libs, what's he going to look for? I thought about it, but doesn't have it. Smart from Marcus just to hold back. He'll get his opportunity. You can wait.
Yeah, and it's this top 4 that have run away from Minico 2 seconds down the road.
A yellow flag,
Yellow
DeFi.
flags. That's DeFi. Looks like he's going to go into the pits.
Yeah. Probably spun coming around the final corner. Oh, it's tough for him.
Yeah.
Hey, he goes.
Yeah, DNF. So
DNF
here we go
session.
again. The second of our Alfa Romeos to cause chaos.
Oh, no. I really hope.
And it's going to be the lead cars.
It is again. It is again. Oh, there's Esteban. Who thought about it? Almost collides with Xylo going into the stadium. Something rose up.
Minico. Not Minico, sorry, Xylo.
Yeah, Xylo having a bit of a moment, and Esteban almost takes advantage of it, but it just allows Marcus Libs to catch back up to both of them. And remember, Marcus has the better downforce setup for the straightaway right here. He's going to have both of them done and dusted, I guarantee you. Look at that pull away. He's gone.
Wow.
That's one. That's going to be two. Marcus Libs clear into the lead before he gets to turn 1. Absolutely no fight in Xylo or Esteban allowed, but Esteban takes the inside line over Xylo as well. It's going to cause a little bit of friction between the two of them and just let Marcus Libs run a little bit farther away, but not too much. Esteban clears off Xylo pretty well. And there goes Marcus Libs clear into the lead with Xylo getting hard done by, sits in third now, cannot make a position back on Esteban coming down to turn 4. What a pass from Marcus Libs.
That was superb. Double pass. Down the straight, making that low downforce setup just work.
Yeah. You know how we mentioned about Drix and Arcadia on those soft tires, and once they hit that 8 to 12 lap range, they're going to start falling big time. They didn't make the positions up they needed to, and now they're stuck in 6th and 7th, both with penalties, and Giants fan is hot on his tail. Speaking of hot on the tail, Esteban hot on the tail of Marcus Libs. Downforce differential big time coming through the S's, but Marcus Libs has both the downforce advantage, the low downforce advantage on the straights, and triple the energy over Esteban. So coming out of this corner, Esteban just has to have the launch of his life. But even then, Marcus Libs, as soon as they get to the straight part, he's got almost enough energy to defend this one. Wow, look at the difference. Look at how long it's taking for Esteban to make this pass. And Marcus, if he wants to...
He's not even using his energy. Not even using his energy.
He's waiting, but he needs to be careful. Oh, Xylo decided to stay back. Yeah, I was going to say, Marcus needed to be careful from Xylo, because Xylo was actually closing in pretty quick. Tries to look for a better exit out of the 3. It gets the exit. I think he might have him. Marcus Libs may have made a mistake. Nope, there goes Marcus. He's burning energy, and he stays ahead. Doesn't even have to do much more than that. Oh, maybe not. Xylo turns in pretty tight. Marcus just barely defends that one well, and Double A's wants to get involved in this party as well. Look at him. Oh, they touch wheels, almost having a bit of a big spin coming into 5, and they hold it off from each other. That could have been sketchy. We got Midnight Killer in here saying, let's go, Esteban. Your hometown hero is doing a great job tonight for sure. But Marcus Libs, after all that conflict, has now lost out from DRS. He needs to get catching up big time. Yep, this is not good. Oh, Double A's.
That's all Double A's. What a move that is.
Double A's and Xylo. They were neck and neck coming down that straightaway, going into the stadium. The more they fight, the farther away Marcus Libs gets to go. And Xylo has no energy to defend this one. Yeah, Marcus is gone. He's going to get this one. However, Double A's is going to get past Xylo, no problem. But I don't know about Double A's getting all the way up to second. He's going to be hard pressed to catch up to Marcus Libs.
Yeah, Marcus is back in DRS.
Hold on a second. Watch turn 1. Xylo's still stuck into that one. And, oh, there it is. Double A's finally wrestled his way through. But Xylo didn't want to let that one go. Look at Marcus. He's back in it.
Yeah, for sure.
And now it's going to be an even fight. Look at their energy, too. Are they both on even?
Yep.
Rage quit. Who do you think has the advantage between the two of these as we're coming into the final closing stages?
With 5 laps left to go after this lap, my money is on, wait for it, double A's.
Wow, really?
Called it at the start. I think I was going to say his energy management was better, but his energy now is equal as well.
Yeah, he just had to use it all to get in front of Xylo and stay in front.
Is Marcus going to get stuck behind Esteban, though? I think he might be able to make. He's almost a second down. But look, I think
he got
making a
DRS.
second up.
He just got DRS. Yep, he's good.
He's making a second up on this straight.
He's making up a lot of time for sure. He'll be down to 3/10 before they get to turn 4, almost certainly.
Oh,
And look,
7/10 now.
Look at the DRS advantage. This is silly. He should burn. He should burn. There it goes. Dude, that's 9/10 on the straight. There's no way. And a late break from Esteban holds off the pass. Sketchy Bull has DNF'd into the pits. That's another one down. We're down to 15 protagonists for the night. And luckily enough, that DNF into the pits will not come out on the track for a long time. But Marcus Libs has to make an inside move right here. He's not going to go for it. He decides
Great defensive line.
Yeah, it was a good defensive line from Esteban. He covered off every angle possible. I don't know. I think Marcus needs to get aggressive and just make this move. I think he needs to find his way through. But he needs to do it in a spot where Esteban won't then immediately after have an advantage. I think if Marcus makes a pass coming into turn 1, Esteban will be able to come back and make up that advantage.
Yeah.
However,
turns 2 and 3 for sure.
Correct. Yep. However, I think if Marcus can find his way through right here before the stadium, I think that's the spot that he gets the advantage and then holds him. So he has to find a way to stay with him through the S's, which is dang near impossible to do.
If he can get out in front, through stadium and then be out in front for the home straight, he is gone. He's down the road.
Yeah, big time. And look at this. Double A's just deciding to stay behind. Watch this closing speed from Marcus Libs. He needs to not go side by side. Yeah, smart. Yeah, there's smart. He just needs to hang out behind and get a good exit here and put some serious pressure on the Red Bull. Yeah, right. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. But Double A's has a way better turns 1, 2, and 3. And Xylo also equal to them. Xylo trying to burn everything he's got to just try to make this move. It's a yellow flag in the back. Big yellow flag. I think it could be Trappy. Trappy is big spun around. Yeah, spun around going into turn 1. He's going to rejoin the track. He's got Stig and Bop's closing in on him quickly, but luckily enough, Trappy does not cause a full safety car. Man, this top 4, it's anyone's game. You're right. You still putting your money on Double A's on this one?
Yeah, I'll stick. I won't twist, I'll stick. Double A's look like he also has a little bit more downforce going through the S's.
Yeah, he does, definitely. You can see the differential in speed right there coming out of the S's. Marcus definitely pulled away just a little bit, so it's 9/10 almost separates Marcus Libs. Yep, 9/10 now separates him and Esteban. He needs to find some special pace to make this move. And again, I think he needs to just get a little bit more impatient. But he's saving energy.
He does have the energy advantage still.
Yeah. He's also going to have DRS 2 straights in a row. And he's got Esteban ahead, who's got a third of the energy. Xylo making a pass on Double A's. Going to force Double A's to relegate. Double A's and Xylo going side by side. That is not the move, in my opinion. That's just going to slow them down for Marcus Libs. It's only going to cause problems. They're collecting wheels and getting locked into each other. Double A's wants to give no room. And Xylo has to just stay alongside. It's going to be a drag race into turn 4. And there goes Marcus Libs making a potential move. No, he's not going to do it. Xylo possibly going to get in front of Double A's. He does. Slides through turn 4. And Double A's tries to get around and make the switch back out of 5. But he's going to get pushed off track for his efforts. Xylo, incredible car control to hold that slide and make that a pass. That's Tokyo Drift level driving. And now Marcus Libs is unleashed on Esteban. 1.7 seconds separates Xylo and Marcus couldn't be happier about that gap. He needs to keep DRS.
Only looking forward. No need to worry about Double A's and Xylo behind him as it stands.
Yep. Speaking of which, though, they need to worry about each other because they are giving no love to each other whatsoever. It is as tough. Then again, they're fighting for the final podium spot. So it's
Yeah,
gonna
for
be
sure.
it's gonna be scrappy. Marcus Libs though, he will still have DRS. He should. Yep, he's gonna have it. So
Yeah.
if he wanted to, now's the time. Really, any minute now. He just can't afford to get held up. Is the big thing. So if he's gonna stay behind, he just needs to make sure he doesn't get held up. That's all that matters. And it's gonna.
I think you're right. I think the second DRS zone is where he's got to try and make that move into the start of Sector 2.
Yeah. That or into the stadium. Those are, in my opinion, those are 2 spots.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, if he can somehow find a really aggressive pass here, you're right. This is the really big one because then he'll stick the higher downforce car stuck behind him going into the next DRS straight. He won't be able to pass him out of that DRS straight. He'll be able to, get some good advantage down that straight. Better braking potentially, and then he's gone for. That's his only hope, though. Esteban, as of right now, has done a really great job to hold it off. He can't rely on a last lap pass either, remember. That's the big trouble, so never know. ERS for Esteban versus Marcus Libs. It's a 5 times the ERS for Marcus, but he has to use it just to catch up. He uses about a third of it right there, so. Dude, this is so tight. Andy, I don't know. I really don't know which one of these two is going to take this one. It could be anyone.
Yeah, I don't know. And this is what we were talking about at the beginning when we were talking about strategies and we were talking about downforce. There is such a fine line between not enough downforce and too much downforce. And it looks like the 2 guys out in front have got very different downforce and setup strategies. However, they're both paying off at certain parts of the track, and it's making it into a great race.
That's true. Now, speaking of great race, it's still side-by-side going into turn 1. Silo and double A. Silo just skids his way in front. Barely holds it. Now, Marcus Libs still not burning his energy. Maybe he's listening to us, and he's saying, I'm going to make that pass in that sector on the final lap. Maybe that's what he's thinking, too. Double A's looks for a potential inside dive, but Zylo covered off that line quite well. No dive available. Marcus Libs and Esteban just cruising farther and farther ahead from 3rd and 4th. And Minico sits in 5th, though. Great result from him so far, but Giants fan is slowly closing. Now within DRS advantage of him as well, so it could be a position gone for Minico, and Double A's and Giants fan will be right next to each other on the standings, depending on how the next couple laps go for these 2 guys. You never really know. Marcus Libs, though, looks like he's potentially out of DRS zone, so he has to burn. He's got to. Yeah, he needs to find a way to get back into it. Uh-oh. He's out of it. He's not going to have it.
Yeah.
This
he's
is
not going to have it.
This is dangerous. He needs to burn that energy right now and just use it all to get back up. Yep. He missed his moment, in my opinion. I think he should have gone for it 2 laps ago.
Yeah.
He's trying to play very smart and grab it, on this final lap, which I think is fair games, but you got to be really prepped for it. And right now, they're almost even on energy. It's still about triple the energy for Marcus Libs, 30% versus 10%, and 10% goes away really quick, to be fair. But again, no DRS to keep Marcus up to the back of that Red Bull. And now it's just 10% advantage. Ooh.
Double A's gets in front of Zylo.
Oh, he does. Wow. Must have been aggressive. I don't know how he did that.
Yeah, that is aggressive into there.
No damage. I don't see any debris anywhere. I don't see any wings damage, so that's good. But Zylo's still within DRS for sure. Marcus Libs, again, needs to have this S section has to go as well for him as possible. It's just not quite strong enough, in my opinion. I think he's just missing out on something. Yeah, there he goes. He burns all that energy. This is the moment. He's got to pass, but both of them are blinking. Both of them down to even battery. Oh, okay, hold on a second. This is really anybody's game now. It's 6/10 between the 2 of them coming out of the stadium. This is possible. We've seen 9/10 advantage disappear with DRS. There it goes. They're both burning it. Yep, they know. It's a drag race. It is a full drag race to the line, and the difference in DRS the difference in downforce is going to be the only thing that matters. Look at the closing speed of this McLaren. It's 1, 2. There goes the inside, and it's going to be done and dusted long before the corner gets there. Esteban has to hang up behind. Tries to get a switch back underneath him, but doesn't have the grip, and that's a park on the apex for Marcus Libs. The way you need to do it. Esteban hard on the power, but he watches that flap open and watches his hopes and dreams disappear with it too. Absolutely incredible move from Marcus Libs. Waited to the very end to make that happen. And again, he parks the apex. That's all he's got to do. He just needs to find a way to stay in front. Watch Esteban make some big moves here if he finds an opportunity to. Remember, the differential in pace is mega through these S's. But it's Esteban hanging out behind. What happened?
Contact between Giants fan and Minico, but Giants fan gets the move done.
Oh! I think it's going to be...
To the Essence.
I think it's Esteban. He's going to take the outside line. Marcus Libs has to be really late on the brakes. So late on the brakes, and Esteban forced him to go wide. It's going to be so tight. Marcus Libs really tries to get in front of that one. I think it could be... Oh, they're pushing. That's a hit. I don't know who's going to take the advantage of the win. It's a drag race to the line. Who's going to get the better run? I think it's Esteban. Esteban gets the better run. And Marcus Libs and Esteban separated by 6/100ths of a second to the line. Double A's comes home in third, and Xylo in fourth, with Giants fan in fifth and Minico in sixth, with 0.3 of a second separating the two of them. That was unbelievable down to the line. What a finish. Esteban grabbing the W in a lot of contention, but I think, honestly, they both gave each other the hardest time possible. I think that was equally as aggressive on both ends, and I think it's just a fair result. GG's to Esteban. That was an incredible drive.
What a finish. I don't think I've seen a finish as close as that in my entire time league racing, in any league. You know, that tussle through the last DRS section and then into the stadium, through the stadium,
That's
at
unbelievable.
the stadium, round the Nigel Mansell turn, to the finish line, 67 thousandths of a second. Driver of the day, by the way.
Yeah.
Not a surprise driver of the day, Giants fan.
Oh, yeah.
What a drive from him.
Yeah, incredible from him. He almost found his way up onto the podium, but of course, our podium sitters are pretty similar to last week. Only one has been replaced by somebody else. Esteban takes where Xylo was, and the other two sit basically dead even where they were, except swapped. It's Esteban with the win. Marcus Libs in second, and Double A's in third. Fourth place went to Xylo, and fifth obviously went to Giants fan. Midnight says it best. They went motor racing. That they did, and what a finish that was to a motor race. Minico, hard done by, stuck just back in sixth for a finish. Arcady in seventh. Great recovery from him from 13th. Yellow Snowman scoring some solid points in eighth. Didn't get enough love throughout this race. He was just cool, calm, and collected, and just stayed consistent. Master Turtle in the ninth, and don't blink. Brings home the final point. Drix, unfortunately, getting caught up in too many incidents. 9 seconds of penalties for him. Without that, he would have had, without one less penalty, he would have had that last points position. Without all of his penalties, he would have had multiple points. Snake into 12th, the championship leader, getting no points today. Trappy into 13th, Bob's into 14th, Stig into 15th, and the rest of our drivers, Sketchy, DeFi, Boss, Wolfer, and Graybush, all not finishing tonight. We want to get Esteban, Libs, and Double A's in our interview room.
Yes, sir.
Oh my golly gee. That was absurd, dude. You're right. I think that is the closest race finish I've ever seen. 6/100ths of a second?
I've never seen that.
Unbelievable. It looks like Esteban can't interview. Oh, no. Oh. Rip. He says he doesn't have he doesn't have a mic, but he says huge respect to Marcus. GG's. Agreed, man. You guys drove it as hard as you possibly could while still keeping out of damage, and that's what matters. A little bit of bump in here and there. That's just proper. That's just some fun racing, but no damage means good. So GG's to both of you guys. Yeah, we need to get this guy. We need to get this guy a good mic. Okay, Angry Shadow says he's got a mic. He's capping. That's funny. Bob says he's mad. Now I'm curious exactly what happened to Bob's because it looks like he had a really tough race for sure.
I'm going to bring Double A's in first.
Oh, let's jump into it.
We're in box one.
I think so. Hello, Mr. Double A's.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Adam? I am good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Could have been better.
Yeah, but hey, dude, still grab that final podium spot after a scrap and a half with Xylo. I saw some intense moves between the two of you guys, not wanting to give each other at all any inches, especially after last week, I'm sure. Tell me about that battle that you guys had, and how do you think you did to come out on top of it?
I think it was pretty obvious I was the faster driver. Just Xylo had some overspeed on the straight.
Yeah.
And he was just forcing a move and being stupid because we lost out on a chance for the win.
Yep.
Because we were fighting.
Yep, I saw that happen, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is Marcus Libs and Esteban's best case scenario. You're right. That was it.
Yeah, it was stupid.
That's gotta be tough.
But yeah, for me, I was like, I need to stay in front of this guy because he was running lower wings, and
yeah,
in sectors 2 and 3, I lose almost a second.
Yep.
So I don't
Yeah.
know. It was stupid of him, and the fact that he didn't realize it. But whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
he pushed me off. I pushed him off once. It was all good.
Yeah, I think it was about even Stevens when it came to the level of, intensity between the two. But I agree. I think if you guys would have, for lack of a better term, worked together to just kind of keep together with each other, make moves where there's an obvious path, but if it's not quite obvious, just go ahead and stick behind or stick ahead. Then you probably would have had a better chance at potentially challenging for the win to the very end.
Yeah.
To still come home with third place, though, is phenomenal. That's going to put you in a really good spot in the championship. I believe you might even be leading it at this point.
Nah, I don't think so. I think
You're pretty
Libs is still ahead of me.
Libs, was he ahead of you before today?
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
I don't know if he was or not. But then again, it was so tight between you two. It's going to be nip and tuck. Like, you guys are 5 points between each other for today's result. And so if there's any more than 5 points difference between you two, then it's really just going to kind of go one way or the other. But either way, I mean, the championship still goes. You are nowhere near out of it. Snakey got no points. So with you sitting up there in the top 5 of the championship, you easily got one more position, if not maybe 2. So you never know. You could be really in a good spot. But yeah, definitely after the results of today, I could see how you felt there was a win on, and that could be pretty disappointing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All was good. It was a fun race.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Well,
it was a hell of a race, I have to say. 5 laps out, I called that you were going to win it, and 30 seconds later, you got in your tussle with Xylo, so you can put the blame on me as well.
yeah,
My bad.
Yeah, I agree, Andy. It's all your fault.
Usual story. Submit a steward's incident against me. It's fine. I'll just steward it myself.
Yeah, I was at 75%, and I think Xylo and Estenbauer were flashing, so I was like, I'm in a good spot. I'm just gonna hang back until the last lap and not make the same mistake twice.
Yep. Yeah. Ironically enough, Marcus was almost on dead even, energy with you for a majority of that finish. You guys were really close, within 20% max, differential between ERS for most of that final 5-10 laps. So yeah, it was crazy. Well, hey, on to next week. We're gonna be at Brazil, another IRL race. How do you feel about Brazil?
Love it. My
Oh
favorite
yeah,
track, I think.
your favorite
Your
track.
favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, hopefully it goes as well for you as Hungary did last season. That's the goal.
It's
Well,
Hungary and Brazil. Those are my 2. And Netherlands, I guess.
Okay.
Those 3.
Well, that's 2 seasons in a row. We get to do 2 of your favorite tracks, so that works out great. Well, man, I'll go ahead and let you go. But again,
already.
Yeah, great racing, man. That was awesome, and best of luck next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
We'll see you
Congratulations,
later.
man. Take care. Good night.
Yeah, you can hear the disappointment in his voice too. I don't blame him, man. That's just so tough. Oh, hey, somebody who's probably not going to be too disappointed, but it's going to be on edge of his seat right now, Marcus. Holy smokes, what a finish, man. That is, I think, the closest finish we've ever seen in this racing league. 600ths of a second between you two down to the line. Tell me about that last 2 laps where you were just kind of trying to play a chickens game with each other as to when you were going to burn that energy and make the pass.
I was actually not playing any chicken game. Istamba was having so much more downforce than me. I mean, I was fast in the straight, but in Sector 2, I was struggling a lot to stay within his DRS. So, yeah, it was close.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were playing that like, hey, I'm just going to sit back into the final lap. And because I think I saw a couple spots where you had definitely a pass to make. It would have been a bit of an aggressive pass, but I think you had some passes here and there into turn 1. But you never took them until the final lap. Tell me about that. Was that really just because you just couldn't catch him and you didn't feel comfortable making those moves?
No, I mean, there's no point fighting at that point. It was just that was between pretty much me and him because we capped P3 and P4, so there was no point fighting there. Just staying clean and to have a fight in the last lap like we did. So, yeah, GG's to him. He was very fast today.
Yeah, he was quick. That final sector too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Tell me about your POV from that, because I think you guys were about even when it comes to the level of intensity you gave each other.
Yeah, we were pretty even on. I was saving DRS quite a bit, but then he starts using in Sector 2 to cut me from DRS, so
Yep.
had to use a lot. So lose my advantage there. So yeah, I mean, and with the amount of downforce he was having, was just pretty much easy for him. But not easy, but easier for him in sector 2 and 3
Yeah.
to gain like massive time on me. So yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was chatting with Andy about this. I said the place for Marcus to pass if he has, you know, a magic wand is into turn 4, because then, you know, you get him, you get Asnabah stuck behind you for all the corners that he should be faster. And he just can't pass, and it almost worked out. It's just something about that Essence, man. How he set it up, I don't know, but he just set up just enough of a gap before he got to the Essence to the point he could have that overspeed coming out of it and didn't have to check up. And that was what got him the win, in my opinion, was just the fact of how he started the S's. That was it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was just very well managed from him. So yeah, he deserved the win. GG's to him.
And
that was still super fun. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it was a fascinating race to watch you two guys with those different setups. You know, from start to finish. We called it relatively early.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at one point, it was 9/10 down the straight, wasn't it, Punju?
Well, on the final lap, you caught 9.5 or 0.95 seconds on the straight, dude, to make a pass. It is with both you guys burning all your energy, so it was barely any energy difference between you. I think you only had 10% more energy than him. That was just DRS and 10% of energy plus a setup difference. Almost more than a full second. It's insane.
Yeah, I know. I have realized my setup was very low on downforce in qualification.
Yes, I'm sure.
If you looked at sector 1, I was like half a second quicker than anybody, and then sector 2 and 3 was just pain for me. So.
I also ran a lower downforce setup today too, and I actually preferred it. I liked it. And, you know, if I wouldn't have made my mistakes, I probably would have gotten the win too. So, you know, it's one of those. But hey, man, great freaking racing as always. It's always a pleasure. And also, you're forever the great competitor too. Like the way that you talk about your competitors too. I just gotta say, you are a genuine role model to the rest of the league on how to do it. So thanks for that as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Andy, anything else to say before we go?
Just next week is Brazil.
Yeah, true. Brazil. I've done 100% league race, I think about a month ago on Brazil.
Yeah.
And I managed to finish P1.
I was going to say, did you win?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's see what we can do next week. It's going to be another fun one. So, yeah.
It sure is.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, man, hey, thanks again for chatting with us. Really appreciate it. And I wish you the best of luck in your prep for Brazil.
Thank you very much.
Hey, we'll see you later, Skater.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Well, Andy, that's one way to finish it out, man. That was pretty nuts, huh?
Absolutely crazy.
Oh, are you able to?
Crazy. What a race.
That was nuts.
What a race. What a finish.
Yeah, dude.
Seriously. Finish.
I think that is the closest we've ever had.
It's the closest. And again, you know, it's nice to have a race where what we're talking about before the race comes to fruition in terms of different types of setups and the different balance that you've got to try and aim for to get it right. There are very, very fine lines between being super, super quick in the straight line and being able to navigate your way through, and it doesn't matter which track, you know, but certainly sector 2 and of course the stadium at Mexico.
Yes.
It demands downforce.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get downforce, you've got a good chance. You've just got to make sure you've got enough in your locker to defend,
down those
defend and make the move.
Yeah,
and make the move like the race winner did, whose name I've forgotten already.
Esnabah. By the way, he just said something. He said he just looked back and he realized he ran out of fuel on the exit of the final corner on the last lap, and that's why he was so slow down the inside. I was curious about that. I noticed it, but I was like, no, it's probably nothing. He probably had a little bit of a twitch and had to left off a little bit. No shot. He literally ran it down to the wire like that. Esnabah, if you have a replay of that, please send that in.
It did look like the gap seemed to be almost a car length. And it became very much less than a car length by the time the guys crossed the line.
Yeah, if that start-finish straight was maybe 20 meters longer, that would have been Marcus Lib's win.
Correct.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Well, hey, then Esnabah, great job on the fuel management. You nailed it. That's perfection. But yeah, man, that was it's beautiful to see, you know, a track like Mexico where two setups are viable. It's one of the very rare ones out there that actually has that available, and it's cool to see how different drivers take different approaches. And the fact that our two top finishers both had severely different setups. Just made it an epic race. So yeah, that was super fun. On to next week, Brazil. Andy, you're going to be here next week?
Hopefully, yes. I can't possibly miss. We've just had the two guys we've interviewed have just told us how wonderful Brazil is.
Yes.
And that they've either won it or it's their favorite track.
Yeah.
So again, I think we're set up for yet another top tier, superb, elite Moose Racing League race.
It's always a banger every single time here in Tier 1. It's great. And yeah, it's gonna be nothing but special. Now we've of course got no assists starting in just about 8 minutes is what Pat's letting us know. So everybody, if you guys are in here, make sure you jump over to the no assist broadcast. We're gonna be go ahead and auto directing you over there at the end of the stream once you hit that or once you see the stream ending. But of course, until next time, I need you guys all to do us a favor. Keep being wonderful. Keep making the world a better place. And thank you so much for all your support today. Hope you guys had as much fun watching as we did broadcasting. That was a blast. Esteban, yes, go ahead and just send it in the clips highlights channel in the Moose Racing League Discord, and we'll take a look at it after. I just want to see it for me, honestly.
Sure.
But yeah, hey Andy, any last words before we get out of here?
Just thank you again for your company, Punji. Thank you to all the guys who put on such a wonderful show tonight. Thank you to Mexico for hosting it, of course.
Oh yeah.
The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez.
Thanks for saying it right.
Circuit. Is that right? Is that right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, you got it better than me. That's for sure.
So well done to everybody involved tonight. Such a wonderful, wonderful race in Tier 1. Well done to everybody else who's raced. And absolutely, go and watch Pat and Mage call no assists, because when Tier 1 is a banger, no assists is a banger. It's been sensational the last few weeks.
Yep. Yeah, give him some love. Well, hey, thanks again, guys. Y'all be wonderful. We'll see you guys at No Assists and again next week for Brazil. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's so